Welcome to Listen While Read. Today's story is about three sisters who control every life, from beginning to end. Meet Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, the fates of Greek myth. Follow the journey of a boy named Arion, whose life is spun, measured, and finally ended by destiny itself. The Keepers of Destiny. In the ancient world of myths and legends, there were three very powerful sisters. They were known as the Moirai, or the Fates. Their names were Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos. These three sisters had a very important job. They decided the destiny of every person, and even the gods. No one, not even the mighty Zeus, king of the gods, could change what the fates decided. The three sisters lived in a quiet, mysterious place, far from the noise of the world. Some said it was a deep cave, lit by a strange, soft light. Others imagined a hidden chamber in the stars. Here they worked day and night. They were always busy, for life never stopped, and destiny was always being made. They were older than most gods, and their power was absolute. Clotho, the youngest sister, was the spinner. Lachesis, the middle sister, was the measurer. And Atropos, the eldest and most serious, was the one who cut the thread. Together they held the lives of all, beings in their hands, through the delicate threads they controlled. Clotho, the spinner of beginnings. Clotho often smiled as she worked. Her task was to spin the thread of life. When a new baby was born, anywhere in the world, Clotho would take her spindle and begin to spin a new, fresh thread. Each thread was unique. Some were bright and golden, some were simple and plain, some were strong, and some were delicate. One day, Clotho picked up a special tuft of glowing wool. "Ah," she whispered, her voice like the gentle breeze. "A new life is beginning. A little boy." She began to spin, and a beautiful, silvery thread started to form. This thread was for a baby named Arion. He was born in a small village by the sea. His parents were happy and held him close. They did not know about Clotho, but her thread was now connected to their son. Clotho spun the thread carefully. It was the start of Arion's life, his very first moments. The thread represented his breath, his heart beating, his chance to live. "Welcome to the world, little Arion," Clotho murmured as the thread grew longer. She then passed the beginning of the thread to her sister, Lachesis. Lachesis, the measurer of the path. Lachesis took the silvery thread from Clotho. Her face was thoughtful. Lachesis had a special measuring staff. With this staff, she decided how long each life would be and what kind of experiences the person would have. She looked at the thread of Arion. "Let us see what destiny awaits. This one," she said. Lachesis didn't just decide the length. She also wove in the important moments of lifetimes of joy, moments of sadness, challenges to overcome, and people to meet. She would gently pull the thread, then stretch it, then let it fall into patterns. As she measured Arion's thread, she saw many possibilities for him. He will love the sea, like his village, she decided. He will be a good fisherman, brave and kind. she measured out a portion for his childhood, learning to walk, playing with other children, listening to stories from the old people in his village. Then she measured more for his youth, his first fishing trips, his friendships, perhaps a special love. Lachesis' expression was calm. She chose from all the paths that could be and set one true path for Arion. She did not make it too long nor too short, but just as it was meant to be. Arion's journey, and so Arion's life unfolded, just as Lachesis had measured. He grew up in his village by the sea. As a boy, he loved to watch the waves and help the fishermen. He learned to swim before he could read. His laughter was as bright as the sun on the water. His thread, unseen by him, guided his steps. As a young man, Arion became a skilled fisherman. He had his own boat. He was known for his courage. He would sail out farther than others to find fish for his village. He found happiness in simple things. A good catch, a song with friends, the quiet evenings looking at the stars. He fell in love with a kind girl from his village named Lyra, and they married. They had children, and Arion taught them about the sea. Sometimes Arion faced storms and dangers. His boat was small, and the sea was big and powerful. There were days of worry and days of little food. These were the challenges Lachesis had woven into his thread. But Arion was strong. He always found a way, helped by his clever mind and brave heart. He never knew that his path was already chosen, measured carefully by a distant, powerful goddess, Atropos, the end of the thread. While Clotho spun new threads and Lachesis measured them, the third sister, Atropos, watched. Atropos was always quiet and serious. Her eyes missed nothing. She held a pair of sharp, shining scissors in her hands. Her name meant the unyielding, or the inevitable, because no one could stop her when the time came. Atropos watched Arion's silvery thread. She saw it pass through Lachesis' hands. She saw it grow with his life, with his joys and his struggles. She knew from the moment Lachesis finished measuring exactly where the thread would end. She did not hurry. She did not feel sad or happy. It was her duty, her part in the great order of the universe. Years passed for Arion. He lived his life. He became an old man. His hair turned white like the sea foam. He had grandchildren who loved to listen to his stories about the sea. He had lived a full life, the life Lachesis had assigned to him. His thread, once strong and silvery, was now becoming thinner and shorter. Atropos watched it closely. Her hand tightened on her scissors. The time was drawing near. The final cut and the eternal cycle. One evening, Arion was sitting by the sea, watching the sunset. He felt tired, but peaceful. He had lived a good life. He thought of his family, his friends, and all his adventures on the sea. He smiled. He did not know that, in that moment, his thread had reached its final measured length. In their distant chamber, Atropos looked at Arion's thread. It was time. Lachesis nodded slowly. Clotho looked on with gentle eyes, ready to spin new threads for new lives. Atropos raised her sharp scissors. With a small, quiet snip, she cut the thread. In his village. Arion closed his eyes for the last time. His life was over. The Moirai, the three sisters of fate, did not pause. There were always more threads to spin, more lives to measure, and more threads to cut. Clotho reached for new wool. Lachesis prepared her staff. Atropos kept her scissors ready. This was the great cycle of life and death, a pattern they wove. For eternity, a destiny that shaped every story in the world, from the smallest creature to the greatest hero. And so their work continued, endless and unchanging,